Smokey, how do you get out of these things?
Hey everyone, Zoe here. So for today's video on survival mistakes, we're going to go way back to the original plan of this channel, which was for me to test out things on camera for the first time so we could see how I've progressed in the future. And today we're going to be trying a hammock. Now unfortunately I say the first time. I did go out into the woods with the intention of filming this video before and realised all my camera batteries were dead. So there's a short clip that turned up on the Survival Mistakes TikTok channel. So this is the first for me. I've never done this before, but I've strung a hammock. Now I've never strung a hammock before, but I guess any time that your butt's off the ground is a successful hammocking. So I can lay down on it, which is quite comfortable once I try not to fall out. But I quite like using it as a chair, because when you're sat in it properly, with your feet off the ground, you can swing. So although this is a first time, it's really debatable, but it's the first time I'm capturing it on camera that isn't my mobile phone. So the actual recommendation for this product came from one of the admins on my Discord server, Smokeyboi, and you should totally join the Discord server, by the way. And we're going to be using a really cheap hammock. There's a link to it in the video description, and it costs about £20. I've seen the connectors, like the carabiners and the wraps for going around trees, for other hammocks that cost more than this entire package. So this thing's got to be able to support my weight, connect to trees, and all for very cheaply. If you don't know what that is in your currency, then in American dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, and some random currency there. So you can see this isn't an expensive product, but does that mean it's a bad one? So I've got two trees either side of me. We're going to try and set up a hammock. So this is the hammock in question we're going to be using. Now there is a link to it in the description, but it's very mass produced. I've seen it on so many places online, exactly the same pictures. All they change is to a different screen printing of like a brand on the side. And I just looked at the cost. This costs £14, so that's significantly cheaper than I initially thought. So what do you get in the bag? Well, the actual bag is actually a pocket. There's a bug flying in my face that it folds into for storage, and that is what we get. This is made out of nylon. You can see, just a quick close up. So the corners are kept on with webbing that's stitched into a loop. Then we've got this carabiner. It's not even a locking carabiner, it's a really cheap one. And then from that to a length of webbing, very similar to what you'd find in car seats. So what I'm going to do as my attachment method is I am going to start at the very end for a start. I'm going to loop around the tree several times. As you can see, this is lifting up the hammock off the floor. I'm hoping once we get to this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick my fingers in. So we're still continuing looping around the tree, but now I'm going to take the bottom layer, which is this one that's holding our hammock, and I'm going to feed it through. And this is a bit fiddly, I've got to take the entire hammock through, because obviously it's not something I can do on the other side, because the hammock is hopefully going to be restrained. So there we go. Hammock's gone all the way through. I'll tighten this strap and then tie it in a very simple overhand knot. Now the reason I've done it this way is I'm hoping if it starts slipping, it's going to have to slip underneath these three layers I've done, and as it tightens, it's going to tighten these three layers, which is binding itself to the tree. So in theory, if it starts slipping, it's actually going to tighten itself in the process. Now for the other side, this is just our webbing strip. You can tell it's not particularly long, maybe 6 foot tall. So that does limit the size of tree we can use. Now if this weren't a first time experience video, I would be able to tell you the history of hammocks, who invented them, where they came from, the exact thickness of tree you need to support your body weight. I'd have a graph that tells you the exact thickness of tree to body weight. I'd be able to tell you where this material was invented, how thick this mesh is. I would know everything. But it's first time experience, so that means no research. So just to clip this second one in, that bug net might come in handy because I'm getting swarmed by mosquitoes and flies. So there we go. And now we're going to stick it to this tree here. Now I'm going to go through that loop we just made, tighten, and then secure with another simple overhand knot. Now I might need to adjust these because this will sag depending on how low to the ground it is with my body weight. So, time for the bit you're all excited for. Will I fall on my ass? So, have I done this too low? Gentle, gentle. Can you see the fear in my face? Okay, so I can sit on it and it's not touching the floor. It's not the most comfortable because I've got it all bunched under my butt. So that's not too bad. So far it's supporting my body weight with my feet on the floor. Let's try lying down. Oh, I can get up. So the mesh net is already open. This is a bit entertaining. So sit my butt down. Get the mesh net from under my butt. 1 foot, 2 foot. Oh, that's not too bad actually. The rocking's quite nice. And as you see, there's been no alarming creaks from the suspension methods we've done. I guess I'd best try and show you guys the mesh net. Mesh net? I feel like I've said that wrong. Mesh net. Did I get those two wrong? But in the dyslexia. So you may remember a past survival mistakes video where I got absolutely swarmed by mosquitoes. And today is no exception. So let's test out this mesh. See if we can keep them out and see how many they're trying to get at me. So, zip it up. Imagine what a tea bag feels like. The one you put in a drink, not the unpleasant one. As you can see, I'm getting attacked by insects, but none of them are actually getting at me. However, I am having to essentially wear a gimp mask made out of mesh. So, time to use these little supports that stick up and actually make this into an easier shelter. And it comes with the cheapest, nastiest fake paracord ever. Look at that. It's like elastic. Now this sort of thing is always easy to do until you're doing it on camera. Then it suddenly becomes much more difficult. Hello fly. You want a starring roll? Guess not. So all I'm doing is pulling this really nasty fake cord tightly. And then I'm going to loop it under itself once again, just the same way I did with the webbing straps. Pull taut, secure with a simple overhand knot. So it's not the prettiest looking shelter, but it is a shelter and it'll protect me from all these horrible flying insects. So, one more time, with as much dignity as I can muster, sit my butt on the green bit until it supports my weight. One leg in, second leg in. Realise I can't reach the edge of the bug net, so pull that down. One leg in, second leg in. Oh, come on. There we go. Now I'm realising you guys can't actually see me. Getting out. There is no easy way to put this. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm not as sprightly as I used to be, and this is difficult, and no way I do this looks dignified in the slightest. So, prepare to laugh. What I found is useful is getting my footing and then pulling myself up using the straps. And that's how you get out of a hammock in your mid-30s. Too far. Ah, nearly. What happened there is my butt went over onto the mesh rather than the green part. Just like that. This could be insane. Oh, it's like being a turtle. Genuinely stuck. Right. I'm comfortable here, I don't need to get up. Oh. Where's my butt on the floor? God. Nope. Time for the least dignified way of getting out of the hammock. Got nothing to grab onto. Oh my god, that was annoying. So, getting in. Move the mesh out of the way. So you've extended the green part. Sit on the green part, not the mesh. And then put 1 foot up and 2 foot up. And if you want to close the mesh, you can do. Notice that this shelter isn't going to be waterproof. That's why I bought one of these along. It's one of those grabber all weather blankets. It's basically a big tarp. And I'm going to string it up in a very similar way to this bug mesh. Why can't I say bug mesh? Bug mesh. And then we'll have a rainproof cover for a hammock. Now, full disclosure, I have never done a tarp shelter before. So this is probably going to be really entertaining. And those of you that do tarp shelters are going to be really annoyed with me in the next few minutes. So for those of you in the audience who aren't aware, why I'm burning paracord and cutting paracord is this is going to be my guide ropes from the grommets on the tarp to ground stakes. Look at me, survival expert. 2 in 1. Some of my other grabber tarps, I have secured these rivets with duct tape, but this is the only one I've got access to at the minute, and this is just supposed to be a quick video of me learning. Again, simple overhand knot, nothing too complicated. I'm going to take this to our final tree as our final ground stake. 1 foot in, net over. I still can't reach. I'm going to tie a piece of paracord to that. Readjust. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. All you horrible insects can stay out there. Now, I'm under no illusions that this is a perfect shelter. it's not. I need to adjust the tension on the guidelines to get a bit more coverage from this tarp at the back. If it was windy conditions, I'd have to pin it down. If it was raining, I'd have to have extra guide wires hanging off the actual rope itself, so rain would drip down it and not into the tarp. But for a first attempt, and on camera, I don't think this is pretty bad. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some of you with eagle eyes may have noticed the tear in the bug net. I didn't. I didn't notice it till I was editing this footage. So this clip you're seeing here is one I put in later. Now, it did rip all along one of the seams that holds the bug mesh in, but it was very easy to repair. I just came along and stitched it. But that might be something to consider if you're thinking about buying one of these cheap hammocks, that you may just need to reinforce those seams a bit. Although having said that, Smokey's got exactly the same hammock and has never had any problems. And speaking of Smokey, after I'd finished filming, we went out and met up with our hammocks.
With my friend and fellow survivalist, Zoe from Survival Mistakes.
And we learnt a few things about the webbing straps. We learnt that both our hammocks can be supported by one strap, just once around a tree, and then 2 carabiners on. Worked perfectly fine, no problems. And he also showed me a technique using 2 loops to go through each other so you can get around slightly thicker trees. And again, you don't need to go around the tree 3 times, 1 is more than enough. So, I'd like to thank my admin Smokeyboi for suggesting this video. Be sure to check him out on YouTube, he's got his own channel. He's Bygone Bushcraft. And he might be making an appearance on this channel at some point in the future. So, if you like this video, please like it on YouTube, lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you really liked it, please consider subscribing. We've got over 500 subscribers now, which is more than I ever imagined for Survival Mistakes. And if you want to see what I'm doing between videos, I'm active on all sorts of social media, and you'll find links in the video description. And as ever, there's only ever one way I know how to end a video. That's for me to say to you, get out there and do the impossible every day. You know what, I really must remember to put a bit of Paraguay on this zip. That's called eating a fly. It's as unpleasant as it sounds. Now, I'm not under any illusion that this is the perfect... Go away, flies. Fine. I'll do my outro like this then, shall I?